Choke no joke. Hit that like, subscribe. Let's get to the next topic because we still here. Make sure you share this. We not going nowhere. All right. Next, I want to talk about my man Big Bank in the 69 interview. Now, everybody's on Big Bank like stank on doodle, like flies on doodle, because he sacrificed his street card for $1. That's the gist of this story here. Big Bank, ATL, street representative or former street representative, went against the grain and went and interviewed Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is a person who is labeled as a betrayer, Benedict Arnold, a snitch, a rat, whatever, because of his case with the non-trade gang, blood gang in Brooklyn or whatever that kidnapped him and, sexed his girl and, the whole story. And so then they kidnapped Tekashi, so Tekashi turned on them because they turned on him. And, people act like they don't respect it. But in the same breath of air, you have the people in Atlanta, like Gunna, who testified in court that YSL is a gang, you know what I'm saying, which is telling, right? Along with him on the news clipping that he did where, he's helping in investigation on the news, on TV, which is considered telling, a form of telling. And 6ix9ine perspective as him supposed to not be cooperating with the police and the street rules, this would be considered telling if he's a street dude. So Young Thug in the interrogation room talking to the police when he was offered counsel and he refused counsel and talked to the police for 2 hours. That is another form of telling in the code of the streets. So what 6ix9ine wanted to do was to establish to the world that what he did was snitching, and he can agree to it, and he will own up to it. But when it comes to guys like Gunna, Young Thug, T.I., 21 Savage, I can't remember what 21 Savage did, but Gucci Man, right? When he shows like when they did things that would be considered snitching, that they get a pass from dudes like Bank. And so Bank was trying to debate that and, say that that wasn't true, but ultimately he showed that it was true, that he turns the other cheek when it comes to his people because they're his friends. And then instead of Bank keeping it a brick, in his words, which I'm assuming means a brick, meaning $100 or 100 singles, maybe. Is that a brick? I don't know. But, or keeping it solid, I don't know. But him saying keeping it a brick is his thing. But keeping it a brick, well, he was definitely supposed to just say, no, before even him saying anything. If Banks was cool with 21 Savage, Young Thug, Gucci Man, uh, who else? Gunna. If he cool with these dudes, right? And he knows that these dudes are all ops of 6ix9ine and 6ix9ine be going at these dudes, then he shouldn't have even affiliated himself with 6ix9ine and doing the interview. You get what I'm saying? Because that was giving 6ix9ine the ability to talk to the Atlanta crowd, to talk to Thug, Gucci Mane, 21 Savage, T.I. It gave 6ix9ine the opportunity to talk to their audience and reach their people by having Bank interview him, right? Now, it would have been 10 times worse if Bank would have let 6ix9ine come to his spot and interview him, but it didn't even matter because once people from Atlanta see Bank, they're gonna watch the interview, right? So Bank opened the door for 6ix9ine to slander and talk trash about the people from Atlanta by bringing Bank to his platform and paying him money to interview him. And some of y'all didn't believe that 6ix9ine will pay somebody to interview him. When he came out of jail, he was offering people money to interview him that, you know, wouldn't normally interview him. I think he offered Gillian the money, I think, at one point when he first came home. But he has offered people money in the past to interview him. And a lot of people with integrity or street integrity turned it down. Even dudes that didn't even have street integrity. Dudes that was just hip hop platforms that just had, you know, hip hop credibility went and interviewed him because of how I looked. And Big Bang went and took the bag. He looked at the money. He didn't care about Thug, and he knew Thug didn't care about him, right? I'm not saying if that's true or not, but in my opinion, this is my opinion, he knew it was going to be backlash from him going to do this interview with 6ix9ine because of how everybody see the public feud with 6ix9ine and all the Atlanta artists, right? So you gonna go and bring all the attention on what 6ix9ine said about these dudes all being rats, and for what 6ix9ine did, and for what he said and what he displayed, and for what Big Bank's reaction was, you know, if 6ix9ine put something on the board, oh, come on, man, don't do that. Come on, take it down. Because, why do he care what 6ix9ine put on the board? He's just using that as a way to drive his point. That's his way of hitting the nail on the head and driving it in, is giving receipts and showing these things. And it made Bank super uncomfortable. And they go, oh, come on, man, don't keep doing that. Don't put that up there. Because he's like, bam, got you. Fact, 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 fact. So why am I a rat and they not? I mean, you know, like, so, and then with what you call it, with Thug doing the interrogation for 2 hours with the police, and he showing him the video where they asking Thug, yo, do you want a lawyer? We got you for a lawyer, or do you want to talk to us without a lawyer? I'll talk to y'all without a lawyer. What? Nigga, you got money? Like, you better get a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So, even if it was a legal aid, there ain't nothing to talk to them about, right? So, and Bang goes, I mean, I don't, you know, nobody's supposed to be talking to the police. Is it ratting? And he in the precinct telling the police all his business. That's ratting. Is it ratting? I mean, nobody's supposed to be talking to the police, but he don't want to say yeah, it's ratting. Why? Because that's his friend. But